Well, hey everybody, how's it going? I want to say hi and thank you to everybody for all the views and the nice comments on the top 5 video. I appreciate that. We've got three people said they're going to do their video. We haven't seen them yet, but hopefully that'll be soon. The other 2, I don't think I've seen it. Maybe I'll give them a nudge. I want to thank everybody for the nice questions. And our first question is from Shutterbug on the AT. She's a friend of mine. We've known each other for a while. She's been a supporter for a long time. This Q&A was her suggestion, so if it doesn't work, it's all her fault. And her first question is, I personally would like to know more about resupply issues. What towns were good or bad for resupplying? What you did if you went to town and couldn't find a market? What foods did you eat at the beginning of your hike and for whatever reason you stopped eating, got sick of it, couldn't find, etc.? Well, of course, your first stop is Neil Gap and Mountain Crossings. For sure, send a mail drop there. It's not a town. It's just a store you walk through. There won't be any grocery stores or anything unless you get a ride to town. Most people just have a box sent there. I think there's a small fee. They're happy to do it. Kind of get you in the swing of how the food boxes work, how the drop boxes work. So definitely send one to Neil Gap. The next one I'm going to tell you to send is at the NOC. They have a little grocery store, a little convenience store there, but when I was there, the peak season, some of the stuff was out. If you get there too soon, some of it might not even be open. They do have stuff in the outfitter, but that's mountain houses and stuff like that. So that's an easy place to get a drop off. So I would do that. Let's see, I got a couple wrote down here. Hot Springs has a Family Dollar, Hiawassee, Franklin, Irwin, all have good resupply. Okay, the second part of our question is, what did I get sick of eating or stop eating? In the food drops, pretty much anything that was sent to me I pretty much made use of. I wasn't very picky. Kind of like a stray dog, you never know when you're going to eat next, so you just eat it all. A couple things in the mail magic boxes that I didn't use was the coffee. I'm too young to drink coffee. I just don't like the taste. I don't like coffee. I don't use those wet wipes. I like the little tiny travel size. Okay, and to get to the second part of our question, also, we'd love to know more about how you vlogged your hike. I know you bounce boxed your computer. If you were to vlog another long distance hike, would you do that again or would you change something? Well, even though my hike was only 5 or 6 years ago, technology has come so far. Even the camera that I was using then was kind of outdated. It took two little batteries so that I didn't have to charge it. I wanted to be self-sufficient. I didn't want to have to worry about my batteries running out. So I carry extra batteries. As far as using the laptop, I loved having my own laptop in the hotel where I could just surf the net, do my emails, not worry about the laptop or the computer at the hostels, because those almost never work. Even libraries, all the different libraries have different rules. Some of them you can't put any of your own SD cards into. Some charged you, some didn't. There's time limits at some libraries. I loved having my own laptop, and I could just do whatever I wanted. It was a hassle to mail it back, 2 weeks ahead, pack it up each week and mail it to the next town 2 weeks ahead, and then use it to use. But I probably would do the same thing again. I know I might get a tablet this time instead of the smallest laptop that you can find. I might get a little tablet that has a good editing program loaded onto it. If I could do everything with the little tablet now that I could do on my laptop, that's what I would do. Thanks again for the question, Shutterbug. Her goal is to through hike the AT in 2020. She's done a lot of sections. She's ready to go. Okay, my next question is from Chad Wesselman. He's my buddy. He's been helping me with Appalachian Trail Who's Who on YouTube. Helped me a lot. We talk occasionally, and he had a few questions over the phone that I wanted to share with you guys because one of them I never had gotten before. His question is, what do you do to prevent caffeine headaches? Which I assume he means sugar withdrawals or caffeine withdrawals. I don't get caffeine headaches. I get a headache like everybody else occasionally, but nothing that aspirin won't kill. If you have trouble with headaches, because maybe you drink coffee every morning, I drink sodas, but I don't get a withdrawal from it. I would suggest like taking a little bottle of 5-hour energy or something like that, and maybe not killing the whole bottle, but just hitting that every once in a while. That might help. personally, for me, I use aspirin for little headaches, pain, soreness, toothaches, especially if you're not bleeding. I prefer vitamin I or ibuprofen for preventative maintenance. I might take one of those before I start hiking. I might take one after I get done. If I'm swelling, I take a vitamin I. I would take Benadryl for anything allergic reactions, a rash, chafing, monkey butt, and sometimes as a sleep aid. So the other question was, did I eat my trail food during the prep for my hike? Yeah, and I did for about a month. It's kind of funny. For about a month before I started my Appalachian Trail through hike, I practiced with my little alcohol stove. I tried every kind of flavor mashed potato, all the rice sides, all the pasta sides, stuff like that. I did it also to save money because I was trying to save really hard to go to my hike. So all that stuff is cheaper than going out to eat or something. So I did. I cooked a lot before I started. Thanks, Chad. Thanks for all your help, buddy. All right, we're back. And the next question is from Kaboose. A lot of you know Kaboose and Sassafras from the Appalachian Trail hiking community on YouTube. They've been around for a long time. I consider them really good friends. They sent me several mail drops while I was hiking. Lots of nice comments. Great people. They thru hiked. They attempted to thru hike in 2013. They made it to about New York, and so much rain that year. They got off trail because of foot problems. They came back and hiked the next 2 years, a few states, and Kaboose finished his. I believe in 2015 he finished his thru hike in sections. He finished the whole AT in sections. Okay, his question is, hey Jeff, good luck on the new book. I would love to see a few Q&A videos. I still love your video style. Thanks, man. He says, I know how hard it can be to keep in shape and eat good. Through hiking can reinforce some naturally unhappy eating habits. What are you doing this year to change your diet, and what changes are you making in your activity exercise routine to get in shape for your hike this year? Yeah, I'm planning to hike 1,000 trail miles, which is ambitious, and I'm still my goal. As you can tell, I've gained a lot of weight. My goal is to get down to 300, so that I'll meet the max the max weight for my hammock. Right now, I can't get in my hammock, so I can't go hiking. So it's hard. It's hard. It's tough. I let it get out of hand this time, and but I've joined the Bigfoot and Hiking Viking 1 million step challenge, and I did that for 2 whole months, and I'm proud to say I lost 31 pounds on that, and I can start to see a difference. My boobs got smaller. I need to get back on that. I walked 376 miles during those 2 months, which is way more than I was walking before. A lot of people have met their 1 million step goal, their challenge, and I congratulate them. Let's see. The next question was, what are you doing differently in your gear planning than in 2012? You know, I just pulled out my gear the other day to do that top 5 video, and I noticed a few things I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to get another poncho. I'm probably just going to use the same type. The hammock, I'm not going to go with the Grand Trunk Nano this time. I've got an Eno right now, which is fine, but I'd really like to get one of the cottage industry hammocks. I'm going to stick with the hammock. That's a no-brainer. I'm going to stick with my little stove. I like the gear that I had. One of the things I'm definitely changing for this year is I'm taking a bug net. And I was such a gram weenie the first time, I wouldn't even take a bug net for weight. That's how serious I took it. So planning-wise, planning has been a lot different. I admit, everyone knows I'm a loner, so I'm used to hiking by myself and just getting dropped off and walking until I get tired and going to sleep. Get up the next day, walk until I get tired and go to sleep. But this year, doing the Vermont Long Trail, I'm also doing 40 miles into Damascus for trail days. I'm doing the Foothills Trail, and all 3 of those hikes I got hiking buddies lined up. So it's going to be different trying to figure out pace. They might want to stay at shelters, and I want to stay in the woods. I'm just going to have to wing that and see how that goes. Okay, the next question is from Todd Stull. He's here on YouTube. It says, love the outtakes. I still vote that you should do a video with your compilation of rants from the trail. The one blow up at the PH shelter was hilarious. I mean, I know it was a totally bad day for you, but a totally epic rant. I'm gonna mention that comment first. It's too hot. And then I had all these Coleman fuel canisters staring me in the face, and I blew up and I made a little rant. But there was a little bit of fun in that, and I kind of dedicated that rant to a pro skateboarder named Charlie Crank down in Florida. 10 years ago, he made a video about a swimming pool that they used to skateboard in, and some other kids came and they messed it all up, and the owner wouldn't let him ride anymore. And he gave it to him. He made a video and he let it rip, just about like that. Okay, his next question is, so what is going to be your first hike back on the trail this year? The Foothills Trail is 20 minutes away from my house, the Table Rock State Park. So that's the first trail I'm going to hit, is the Foothills Trail, which I recommend anyone who wants to practice for the Appalachian Trail. If you get a chance, check out Todd's videos on his channel. He's going to be doing the Tuscaloosa Trail. All right, the next question is more of a comment, but it's from TV Toms here on YouTube, and he says, I was so surprised to see Tuts in the thumbnail for my last video. Blast from the past, man. I watched all his videos and adventures. Yeah, Tuts is awesome. Tuts is one of the first videos through hikes series that I watched too. So Tuts is awesome, and he's going to be in my new book, Appalachian Trail Who's Who on YouTube. Shameless plug. And I think it's fun. I got to talk to him several times to get information for this profile, and a lot of the other hikers too. And I also want to mention that Apache is going to be doing he already wrote the foreword for the book. So I appreciate Apache. Okay, the next question is by Sean Broderick. I appreciate all the questions, guys. What gear would you think of changing to since 2012? Well, I touched on this earlier. I'm also going to change, I didn't mention this before, I'm also going to get, this year I'm going to get a top quilt. That's a big change. My through hike, I used a Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, and I believe the zipper is what made my hammock fail that time. So I'm not going to use a sleeping bag. I'm going to get a top quilt made for hammocks. Okay, the next question is from Dave K. It says, was that a typo on page 317 of Painted Blazes, or did you really reach 350 pounds after your AT adventure? I really reached 350 pounds. There's a thing in the hiking community called, post-trail weight gain, post-trail depression. I didn't really have that. I'm not blaming my weight gain on that. Realizing that the recommendations for adults for exercise is to keep moving for a minimum of 150 minutes per week. You probably met that requirement by noon each day on the trail. So your total minutes, hours, days during the almost 6 months would be an interesting stat, as well as inspiration. I didn't keep good records on that. I haven't even figured out the average miles per day. I assume it's in the 12 to 15 range. The next question is from Planner. It says, maybe you can touch on the difference on hiking overweight. It says you currently, meaning myself. It means himself, Uncle Paul, and many others aspiring to hike. I finally gotten below 300 and I'm looking forward to trying hammocking. It had a 300-pound limit, so it's been a goal for a while, he says. When I hiked in Maine about 3 or 4 years ago, when I went up there and visited San Miami and Red Hot, I was a pretty big boy back then. I was about 320, and I remember those days being very, very slow. That is one of the hardest sections with some crazy elevation changes. I went very, very slow. And most times I didn't get up the mountain in one shot. I would have to stop in the middle and lay down on the trail and rest. So it was some 5s and 6s. Some days that I only did 5 or 6 miles a day. So if you're big like me, you're 300 pounds or more, you're not going to knock out a 10, 20s every day, especially to start out. Well, guys, I appreciate everyone's questions. That's all. Look below here, look below the screen. I got links to everybody's channels. Hope everyone enjoyed this video. Make sure to check in my next video, because 5 secrets of Painted Blazes. I've already started working on it a little, getting the pictures ready and everything. I think it's going to surprise you. Okay, guys, I'm going to be out. See you later. Happy hiking.